2023 August comes along and another guy at that company got laid off, and I went home to my wife and I said, hey, it's only a matter of time before I lose my job. I go, and I'm the breadwinner of the family here, right? So I joined the community September 27th. I was laid off the next day, September 28th. Fast forward to where I'm at here today, and it's 45 locations, 79 machines, and we did over $102,000 in revenue last month.
Anthony, fired up to have you on here today. Thanks for taking the time.
Absolutely. Excited to be here. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Yeah. So first thing I want to do, Anthony, is let's just kind of hear about your story. Like, what were you doing before going down this path? What really kind of originated that journey for you?
Yeah, no, absolutely. So 09 to 2016, had my own real estate business, fix and flipping, building rental portfolios for higher net worth individuals. 2016 was offered a position at another real estate company to be like their head of business development. Thought it was a great opportunity. Took the position, worked there from 2017 to 2023. 2023 August comes along, and another guy at that company got laid off, and I went home to my wife and I said, hey, it's only a matter of time before I lose my job. I go, and I'm the breadwinner of the family here, right? So, 6-figure salary, making money. And I'm like, I'm going to lose it. I go, I don't know if it's gonna be next week, if it's gonna be next month, at the end of the year, but something's going to happen. I go to my wife, I go, I see we have two options. I go, one would be for me to go get a corporate job and to just fly away, make $250,000 a year, be away from you and the kids. But when going back to the values of for me and my wife, when we first met, it was okay, our family comes first. I didn't want to be a guy that was going to be running around, being away from my kids, missing recitals, missing practices, any of that stuff. I've seen so much of that from other guys, in the real estate industry, where they might have the net worth for it, but they missed all their time with their kids, and they can't buy that time back, and that was never the father that I wanted to go ahead to be. So I brought my wife up. I go, but here, I got to provide. I go, so should I get a corporate job? And my wife, God bless her, that's why I married her. And she's like, well, I don't want you to do that. She goes, because, same stuff could happen. She said it in a different way, but she goes, same stuff could happen. She goes, you could get that job with another W-2 job, be away from all of us. And then 2 years later, you get laid off. And then now what? You're 2 years older. We're back at square one. She goes, what other things do you have in mind? I go, well, I want to go ahead and, maybe restart the real estate business that we had, the flipping business, and then go ahead and find a recurring income stream type business. And she goes, well, what did you have in mind for recurring income stream? I go, I knew what the rental numbers were for real estate and how they worked. I've been running performals on those things for years and building those portfolios. And unless you're raising millions of dollars and the type of cash flow that I needed per month and everything like that to get to where my goals were, by the times you have the interest rates were increasing, and with the investors that you're raising for equity and bank, it's just it was just so much money that you had to go ahead to get to that point to get the same amount of cash flow of what we needed. And I'm like, there has to be another way. There has to be. I go, I don't know. I go, let me go research some things. I'll do some due diligence here, and I'll come back to you. I'll let you know what I find. That was going into Labor Day weekend of 2023. And I just was doing my due diligence, looking at laundromats, car washes, all this. And then I came across your Twitter handle, Mr. Passive. And predominantly you were talking about vending. And it's funny because my kids at the time, they were 3 and 5. So we had them on a Saturday gymnastics class, and every Saturday we would go there. Once the classes would end, my family included, everybody would just run over to the vending machine afterwards. And it was one of these old school traditional ones. It was the pirate's booty in there, the goldfish, the Hershey bar, and all this stuff. And it would just be lined up. So it really piqued my interest because I literally had living proof of this model working in front of me, as we were going there every Saturday. I ended up reaching out to you via Twitter. I ended up talking to a member of your team at the time, just to get some information exactly how the program worked, and took all that information and went back to the Senate, aka the wife, and had to basically pitch everying to her about how
the Senate or the president. Let's be real.
Yeah,
here.
exactly, right? Yeah, I had to bring it back to her, and and just say, hey, I found this guy on Twitter, and he wants me to join the community. He wants me to pay X amount of dollars, and she's like, well, what are we doing? We're not paying that, and you're going to lose your job, and we need the money if we're going to do this. We're going to need it for the upfront capital for our business, to buy a machine or inventory and all this stuff. And I go, Taylor, I hear you, and those are great points and a great question. But for me, I have zero experience in vending. I have no idea. I don't know who to go to. I don't know which machine to get. I don't know anything about this business besides that our family is a customer at every Saturday at our gymnastics class. Like, I'm like, I don't know anything about it. I don't know which machine to get or which one, to do and all this stuff and like the contacts, and she was with me when I first started my business in '09, my real estate business. Like, this is when we first met. Yeah, that's another thing too I recommend to people, start a business in August of '09 and then meet your future wife 2 months later, and that throws your priorities off, of like what you're supposed to be
Yeah.
focusing on. Because my mindset was just all work, but then it was, the relationship and then intertwining that. So,
Yeah.
um,
So
but
this is fascinating. I'm just curious, like,
yeah.
I mean, you literally had to take it to your boss, basically your
Oh,
spouse, or
yeah.
if she's like my wife, your boss. What got her over the edge? Like, what
Y
was it? Was it building a business with your kids? Was it convincing her that this online tweet wasn't a scam? Like, walk me through kind of what got her over the edge.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So in '09, she was with me, and she saw how long it took me to build my Rolodex of the right people in the real estate business. It took me years to build the right Rolodex, right attorneys, right brokers, right contractors. And again, it's like, this is the financial recession. So when I say brokers, like you had to have a good relationship with a lot of REO brokers so you would be able to, buy these foreclosures, that was going on at the time. And she saw me go through the peaks and valleys of that, of having a good contractor, having a bad one. It took me years to find the right team. And I told her, I go, we don't have years. I go, this is not me and you just meeting in '09. I go, we have 2 kids, 3 and 5.
Hmm.
I go, we have bills, we have a monthly net, we have our tuition, we have groceries, we have mortgage. Like, it's not like how it was. We don't have time. And I don't know when I'm gonna get laid off, but like, we don't have it. I'm like, this community, I told her, I go, view it as a pseudo board of directors. Here's a community
Love
of
that.
people that have been very successful inside already, successful operators where I'm able to basically pick their brain. Basically, hey, I'm going to go into this location. I'm going to go into this location. What do you think about this? What do you think about that? Like, I'm going to be able to have that. I'm like, and the guy, yourself, I was telling her, I'm like, and the guy, Mike, he's got this, he negotiates all these contracts for people and everything like that. And like, he has discounts on the machines. I'm like, instead of me going there and talking to a vendor for about their machine, of course they're going to tell me that their machine is better than sliced bread because they're trying to make a sale. But if
Hmm.
I'm able to go into the community, and if I'm able to kind of talk to 3 different people that have maybe 3 different machines and then talk to them and get an authentic, honest opinion, I could go ahead and take my own pros and cons of that value of what that person's telling me, like a board of directors, and then I can make an informed decision about how I'm going to build my business going forward. So for me, that was the most important. That really struck a chord with her because she saw how hard and how long it took me to do it and find the right contacts early on in the real estate industry. Like, that was like the biggest thing for her. Like, she's like, oh yeah, she goes, I understand, and I was able to not convince her, but like I got her in, I got her buy-in. She loved the vending idea just because of, what we were doing at that gymnastics class with our kids. And I told her, I go, this is a low barrier of entry of capital. I'm like, all these places, all these other businesses, car washes, you're leveraging millions or thousands and hundreds of
Hmm.
thousands of dollars. I go, vending is not like that. I go, literally, you join the course and then you go, and then a machine costs 5 or 6 grand.
Yeah.
I'm like
Yeah.
literally, that's it.
Yeah, our first rental was in St. Louis back in the Midwest near you, and the whole 1% rule, and I was like, "I'm putting 20% down at now 25% down on an investment property
For sure.
basically, and so a $100,000 house, you're putting 20 grand down just to cash flow 300 bucks."
Yeah.
Well, you
Oh my
can
God.
smoke that out of the water every month with a vending machine that is not even a third of that down payment, not to mention you can finance the dang thing if you really want to, and, like, that whole your capital just goes so much further than with
Oh, it
real
goes so much
estate.
further. 100%, absolutely. That was the biggest attraction to me, and it was attracted to me to that of, like, having the community, knowing that I was gonna have the support to kinda guide me. Because every business, no matter what you're gonna do, you're gonna have some type
Mhm.
of you're gonna need to have that mindset, and you have to be consistent and persistent every single day, and it's tough because some people haven't been an entrepreneur before, or they're
Mhm.
coming out of a W-2, or they got their back against the wall. But I will say this, like, your body does weird things, like, in different ways, like, when you're leveraged and when you're out there and you have to make it work because you will figure out a way to go ahead and make it work. So, yeah, so, I mean, that's what kinda really sold her on it. She loved it. She saw how it was gonna expedite our success by joining the community, story with having all those pieces in place already that I described. And, I joined the community September 27th. I was laid off the next day,
Wow.
September 28th. I felt like everything was it's like a silver lining, where everything is at. Like, because I had that conversation with her, my wife pushed back on a W-2 job. I found you on Twitter, had a call with your team, booked, got the information. My kids at gymnastics, sold my wife on it because she was able to physically see it. Joined the community, I get laid off the next day. And then it's like, yeah, I mean, it was scary time for sure. I mean, especially with me not having zero experience in this industry, like whatsoever. And, the guidance and the support of the community to keep my mindset right through this journey has been the most important. Fast forward to where I'm at here today, and it's, 45 locations, 79 machines, and we did over $102,000 in revenue last month. So,
Last month you did 102 grand.
yeah.
And vending's not get rich quick. So let's talk about that a little bit. Like,
Yeah, so humbly speaking, like, I felt like I would have gotten there quicker if there wasn't some of these production issues with the certain manufacturer. I felt I could have done it a lot quicker, but it is what it is. I'll leave it there for that. But for me, like, my goals when I joined your community, Mike, it wasn't even to do that. Like, honestly,
hmm
like, my goals were when I joined was I was gonna have this vending route was gonna pay our monthly nut for our family. Right. And then my flips we're going to do for vacations and, retirement and certain things like that. But, I got addicted. I got addicted to the business. I got absolutely addicted to it because, you hear the expression all the time, like, hey, make money while you sleep. Right. Now, I understood the expression, but I was never able to fully physically feel it. When I installed that first location at a 24/7 location and I started making money while I actually slept, my mind just flipped. For 30 days straight, I woke up every single day and told my wife how much money we made the night before, why we were getting ready in the morning. Hey, we made 20 bucks last night. We made 30 bucks last night. And what the cool part about it was a week and a half, 2 weeks into that, me doing that, my wife goes, could you imagine if we had like 5 of these? And me, I'm like, well, what if we had 10? What if we had 15? What if we had
yeah, yeah,
20 of
yeah.
these things, right? And she's like, well, yeah, yeah, for sure. I'm like, yeah, it is extremely powerful because coming from a real estate background and any type of job that I've ever did in my entire life, I've always had to work for something. Buy a house, fix it up, flip it, sell it, buy a house, do a consulting fee for this project and then sell it. You know what I'm saying? Like all these
hmm
different things. Like, but I'd have to do it over again. This business, I've been able to kind of, build from the ground up, but like I'm having this conversation with you right now, but I'm getting paid for this right now with all the work that I did over a year and a half ago that
Yeah.
keeps paying me over and over. It's so refreshing. And that was one of the things that attracted me most to this industry. The number one thing was low barrier of entry for sure of capital. And then two was like how quickly I could scale it and where I could actually have the freedom to go ahead to do other different things, and be present there for my kids. Like I pick up my kids from school. I drop them off at school every single day. Like my son just got done with fall ball. He would have games at 5:15. I'd have to be there at 4:45. There's no way I'm doing that working in my
Yeah.
previous job.
Yeah.
There's no way.
Yeah, yeah. And what you said just struck a chord about the whole recurring mindset. When I was in 2019, I was looking at like cleaning businesses and Amazon FBA and all of the things. And like cleaning, for example, it's project based. So if
Yeah.
it's very seasonal, just like with Amazon FBA, like during the winter months going into Black Friday and Christmas, you crush it, but it's not recurring. Like with vending, people are going to need food and drink no matter what time of year, no matter what's going on with the interest rates, no matter what the
Exactly.
stock market's doing. Like of our different investments with our family, like it's the most consistent because
Yeah.
it's black and white when it comes to what people need.
Yeah, I mean, well said. I mean, absolutely. I mean, there is we're recording this in October of 2025, but like there's like the labor market softening. We're seeing it everywhere. There's layoffs every single day that you see that you pop up of like, hey, Amazon's laying off 13,000. This company's laying out this, and it's either due to AI or like all these other different factors, And for me, thank goodness like this happened and it's like when it happened 2 years ago because now I was able to regain my financial future and put my family and basically take control back and not worrying about a company or a layoff or this or that because you're absolutely right. Like even those people that get laid off, they're going to either need to eat something, they're going to need to drink something. And the one thing I love about this business is the predictable cash flow that it gives you, which for
hmm
me in real estate, I would get paid in chunks. So I always had budget, certain this, I'd have, make 40 grand in a month, but then I'd have to stretch that until the next
hmm
40 grand comes in like 3 or 4 months. So vending was like a breath of fresh air where it was actually I was able to build a business and have an asset that I'm building here, like on paper, on a net worth statement that is predictable cash flow. So
Yeah.
it's like a W-2 job, but it's giving you predictable cash flow. And I could say that now with being in here 2 years that with these locations, what I do, it's like plus or minus 5% each month, like with what that machine did in revenue, after
Yeah.
the first 5 months of it being there. So extremely predictable.
Yeah, yeah. So 2023, come across vending on Twitter, go down a rabbit hole, then you go get your wife's approval, jump in. Today you said you hit 102,000 last month in monthly
Mhm.
revenue. Walk me through like what has been the thing you've learned the most during this journey of actually turning this into a juggernaut, I would say, and not just a one or two location side hustle, and walk me through that a little bit.
Yeah. So some of the things that I feel are key is to conserve your cash, at least for me. Meaning, like for me, I made a mistake in the beginning where I liquidated some funds out of a SEP IRA that I had and then some other savings that I had. Because for me, I got laid off. I had no income, and I'm trying to figure out cash flow here. And I thought at the time, like, I needed cash flow, cash flow, cash flow. But in retrospect, I would take that back because even though I paid cash for that machine, it was a deterrent, meaning like I wish I would have had that cash later because then I would have been able to bring on maybe
Mm,
a stock or investing that cash into the business. I wish I would have just financed those first couple, like that first machine,
mhm.
and had that cash back. So conserving your cash for down payments. So then that way you can kind of go ahead and reinvest back into the business and go ahead and scale it, to where you kind of go ahead and need to do it is like what I would recommend, as well too, of just hoarding it. You're not getting into this business to give yourself another low paying job. I say this to a lot of people that ask me all the time, Anthony, what would you do? What's the magic recipe? I go, dude, there is no magic recipe. You're gonna have to go out there, you have to grind. Some days are gonna stink. You're gonna have this go wrong. You're gonna have this logistic company tell you that it's gonna be delivered and it's not gonna be delivered. You're gonna have Murphy's Law. How could you suppress that Murphy's Law, right? So I
Mhm.
try to give as much wisdom as possible to some of the newbies so they could suppress it as much more than what I have. And then like what you did, like you gave us all your feedback of what you did and we had to listen and that helped us expedite our stuff. We were more successful quicker than you were, and then that's the whole goal for like the community is like I want other people to be more successful than me in a shorter time frame because now they have the tools and resources and the wisdom from a lot of other people where they should not be able to make those mistakes as long as they don't veer off the path.
Yeah,
So,
yeah,
like I'm big on mindset. Like I want people like as a business owner, you're going to be dealing with stuff. Things are going to go wrong. It happens. It's just life. And your consistency and your persistence of how you attack it, you're going to have to get after it and go have
yeah.
and get it done.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like those potholes you drove through, you wanna kinda make sure they're filled in so the person behind leave the jersey better than had it type of thing, and that's what I love. I mean, even this morning's Vendingpreneur call with all the operators on there, like, I remember when we had 1 call a week, and
Yeah,
now, like, even the questions this morning, I give my take on how I would do it, but now there's you and 50 other people that answer too, and it's, like, so cool because there's 100 ways to skin a cat. There's 100 ways to
absolutely.
set your pricing. The machines I prefer might not be the machines you prefer, like,
Exactly.
it's really cool to kind of see the community just give back to those operators.
And that's what I said, like, that was the biggest draw for me was, like, that pseudo board of directors, like, that's what this gave me. It gave me that support where I'm able to call or connect with multiple different vendingpreneurs. There's no reason to sway me one way or another. They don't care. Like, I'm literally making a pros and cons list of what's gonna be best for my business, and then I make a decision as an entrepreneur, for my business. So, I mean, think about it, like, to get, like, a consulting company or something like that on, like, some of these companies, like, to hire a board of directors, I mean, those things cost thousands of dollars to have that expertise and that support, and we're getting it for a fraction of the cost. People always ask me, he's like this other guy was telling me, "Oh, I think I'm gonna go get an MBA." I'm like, "Why?" He goes, "But you're doing so well," and stuff like, "Yeah, I got an MBA in vending. That's what I did at a hundredth of the cost of what you're gonna spend."
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
so for me, like, that's what I told the guy. I got an
Yeah.
MBA in vending, dude."
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Exactly. Oh, that's funny. What's next for you with like your route? What excites you? What trends are you seeing? Either top selling products and I mean the machine companies, even in the last 2 years since you first joined. I mean,
oh
there's
my
so
god.
many brands now that
Yeah.
we've brought in to VendHub. Like, do you, I guess speaking of VendHub, do you use VendHub? Do you order your product at Costco? Like, walk me through that a little bit and
So
your process.
first off, thank you for creating it because I was one of my top sellers at all my locations was a Skinny Pop white cheddar 1 ounce. But the
Skinny
problem
pop.
is with club stores is that you are limited in what the options that they have there within regards of big bags or even just selections in general. I would go to Dollar Trees along my route when I was picking and stocking, and I would hit every single Dollar Tree up and I would clean it out. I then started knowing when the Frito-Lay guy was going there
Mhm.
to bring it for Skinny Pop, so then I would be able to meet there, so then I would be able to get all of it as much as possible, so then I would have the most amount of inventory possible. And this is a testament to you. Like, when I joined, there was 123 members, and what you have done for the community of just reinvesting back into it, of giving us the different operations and the different tools and resources of what we needed to make us operators and vendingpreneurs more profitable and more efficient. I cannot speak more, so much more about that, because with you creating that and utilizing the strength and numbers of that community growing and negotiating the relationships that you've had with different manufacturers or retail markets or distributors for food and snacks and drinks was ingenious, because like now I can go on Vend Market and I could order 8 cases of Skinny Pop White Cheddar or whatever it is, and I could have it delivered. I don't have to be running around. The amount of time that I wasted driving around, but as an entrepreneur in the beginning, you're starting a business, your adrenaline's going, yeah, this is what I'm supposed to be doing. Screw that. You have to value your time more than ever in the beginning as an entrepreneur. And
Yeah.
that's what I feel like with the community, like it really forces you to kind of think that way. It's like I said, like to the guy, I got an MBA in vending, but it's not vending. It's like I got an MBA in business coaching, like what to do. And I just learned how to do a vending route,
Yeah.
honestly.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it has been a complete time saver, for my operations, my business, and I would not even have been able to get to this level as quickly as I have, or if ever, if I did not have those tools and resources that you have negotiated and provided the community over the past year.
No, I agree, and even the little things like on that Skinny Pop, the thing I didn't know initially because I was always just swinging by Costco like you to shop and get my variety packs, and the one flavor would never sell, and they
Oh
just
my God,
eat
the
at your
effective
margins.
cost per unit.
But the crazy thing with your Skinny Pop thing is not only is saving you time, but now you're literally getting a rebate check in the mail every quarter. And I was like, I didn't even know rebates existed in this industry. And with a penny margin business and COGS, like if you get 3, 4, 5, in some cases 10, 12% rebate, I mean, holy smokes, talk about
Oh yeah.
a nice check at the end of the quarter.
Yeah, no, it's absolutely phenomenal of like what you put together with that. So with having those rebates, on the products that we're buying. And even when I would do my pop-ins, when you established that relationship, I had on those first couple pop-ins, when you first established that distributor relationship, I would have a property managers ask me and say, hey, you're not just buying from Club, right? Like Costco or Sam's. Like they said it
Yeah.
like that and that negative connotation.
Yeah.
And I said, don't worry about it. I go, I
Yeah.
got a distributor with 5,000 SKUs. You want Starbucks, all gummies, all pink or whatever, you got it. You want this, you got it. You want spicy Gardetto Italian trail mix, you got it. So that gave me the competitive advantage, maybe to the next guy that was coming in after me that was saying, yeah. And if she asked that question, what's that guy gonna say? Oh yeah, I can get the variety pack at Costco, and like
Yeah.
that
The
guy
1 ounce
is
bags.
yeah, the 1 ounce bags and stuff like
Yeah.
that, like, no, like,
Yeah.
it's like, it gave me a competitive advantage to close a lot of those locations, and, yeah, that's a testament to you, like, for you to be able to put that together for us, but, yeah, these rebates things, I mean, this is a whole 'nother different level, and there's, like, a whole 'nother gamification that now that I'm gonna be doing with internalizing with our route, there's certain promos that are done, and then distributors running one rebate, and then there are other rebate companies running this rebate, and you could double dip, and, yeah, I'm just really excited, with in regards of where that's gonna be, because it excites me that I know with this route, with my route, is that I did 102,000, but I just know the profitability is just gonna skyrocket even
Yeah.
more just with the certain tweaks of like what we have going on and those margins going up. I mean, for, just with these rebates and the products of that. And yeah, I mean, I've given the community like an example, like I would order Gatorade Zero a lot and it would come in a variety pack. You would have the Gatorade Fruit Punch, the Glacier Cherry, and the Gatorade Zero Lemon Lime. Well, what happened? Gatorade Zero Lemon Lime sells 3 times more than the other one. So what does my guy in the warehouse do? He sends me photos of the oversupply of inventory of Gatorade Fruit Punch and Gatorade Glacier Cherry. And he's like, dude, we don't have enough space. It's oversupplying. We're oversized. I'm like, yeah, if you look at those numbers of that effective cost per unit with those variety packs, like you end up paying more because
Mhm.
you have spoilage, you have this, you have oversupply. What are you going to do with all that stuff? So yeah, it might have cost you 77 cents from Sam's for that Gatorade. I ran the numbers and the analysis on this. My effective cost per unit price was 50 cent higher. It's $1.24. $1.24
Jeez.
because I was
Yeah.
selling 3 times more of a Gatorade Zero Lemon Lime, but I had to keep buying because I needed to suffice it. Now, with the relationships that you set up where I can go and get Gatorade Zero Lemon Lime with just that single flavor and order many cases I need, I'm not gonna have oversupply
Yeah.
or overstock issues. It's
Yeah.
huge.
Yeah, before
Huge.
VendHub, we for 3 years, literally every week, we would have to go to the homeless shelter and drop off all the expired chips because no one would buy
Yeah.
Funyuns, and these college kids have never grown up with Funyuns,
Oh
so
my
it was
gosh,
either
my
us
wife was
eating
on my
them.
butt.
Oh, yeah, yeah, and so we drop off these expired variety pack chips at the homeless shelter, but I do think, you keep saying what I built. I think it's important to, like, take a step back when you bring up the strength in numbers. Because full disclosure, you're the one that brought Factor to the community. You were buying Factor for your own route, and then you're like, "Hey, Mike, can you go negotiate on behalf of all of us in the community and get a
Yeah.
more leverage with purchasing power?" So that strength in numbers. And I mean, walk me through some of these other products. Like, most people think of vending with Snickers and bags of chips, but like, you're really you push the envelope a little bit with some cookies and Factor a little bit.
Yeah, yeah, no, absolutely. So one of our top sellers is like Coke Zero 20 ounce. It is just one of the top sellers.
Yep.
But Fairlife Core Power, like it would be crazy. That 42 grams of core power, that protein, that's a meal replacement. That
Mhm.
thing is being sold for $7.99. That thing is flying off the shelf. People don't care because they view it like it's a meal. We're starting this week here to kind of, we had a request for dog treats. So we're putting that in there.
Mm.
Paper towels, toilet paper, laundry, Tide Pods and stuff like that, like being like very like creative. Like last winter, we did hauls, like little cough drops and stuff like that, and
Oh,
those things
cool.
flew, off as well too. But yeah, I'm always trying to think of other different creative ways to kind of always kind of set myself apart. But one of the top sellers is like one of these like these Hershey dipped cookie pretzels type things or something like that, which where can you source those from? You can't
Yeah.
source them from a business Costco Center or Sam's because you're missing out on the opportunity to hit a market with some of these products that people would want. But if you can't have them and supply that because you're limited because you're going to Sam's and Costco, you're putting yourself at a really disadvantage.
Yeah. Yeah. That's awesome. So what's kind of next here with your route? Do you have staff? Like, how much
Yep.
time are you spending on it? Like, kind of walk me through that.
Yep. So my operation, I hired an ops manager about 30 days ago, 45 days ago.
Sweet.
So now he basically runs the operations of the route of like ordering inventory, going into pop-ins. If there's something wrong, that's handling. He's getting the guys out in the morning. He's running sales reports, for us, doubling down, tripling down of what stuff is not working, what's not, low movers out, this mover in, working on that, and then just trying to grow the business. We're going to trim the fat on our route here, kind of going forward, maybe take some of our locations that are not doing, I mean, they're doing well, but like, I could maybe move them over to a different location where I know it would be, more profitable for the company. So that's our kind of our Q4, Q1, goals here for the route. And then obviously, I'll get referrals like once or twice a month of just from business of like what I've done and how I built it over the past year and a half, where I'll just get referrals now just based off all that work that I did last year. Like I'll say, hey, Anthony, I need you to introduce this person from this person. I can introduce you here and I can introduce you here. So like full transparency, like I haven't really business developed at all this year. It was all of me putting like a good hard earn of like 6, 7 months last year and just really going at it and getting after it. And I wasn't putting in like 50, 60-hour weeks on that. You switch it up, because I was just
Mhm.
still doing real estate at the time. I was still doing real estate. So you're kind of setting up your schedule of your day. And then if you got flexibility in a day or a Saturday or something like that, go out there and knock out 15, 20 pop-ins,
Yeah.
and it's sales, so you're going to have to go out there and grind. And every 10 that you do, you'll get one. I mean, who knows? Maybe you get lucky, you get every 10 you do, maybe you get three. But if you do
Yeah.
20 and you get zero, maybe when you do the next 10, you get three. So it's a law of averages. It always averages out. But even with me before that, like with me before I even hired this ops manager, I would just order inventory. My guys, I've kind of trained them well where they'd be out in the morning and all that stuff. I would run the pick list. I would run those sales reports and I'd pay the sales taxes and do all that stuff like once a month and make sure to have all the reporting done and everything. I would work maybe like 8 to 10 hours a week, like on that route, honestly, like that's where I was at. Now that I have the ops manager, I check in with him 30 minutes a day. Obviously, there was a lot more training with him, like in the first month, month
Mhm.
and a half. I mean, we're doing some training tomorrow where we're going to be going and doing some pop-ins and some certain things at some places that he identified, and we're going to go do that together. But like 8 to 10 hours, like this business is not passive in the beginning whatsoever. You can make it passive if you're kind of capitalizing. You want to hire somebody else to do the business development and everything like that for you. If you have the capital to go ahead and do it, you could do it passive, like right from the get-go, 100%. But for me, with me building it from the ground up, I had to kind of put some sweat equity into it. I had to get
Yep.
out there, bust my ass, you know, do some pop-ins, get, really do it from the grassroots. But once you kind of get through that and you kind of build your team of your infrastructure of what you have, I mean, it's great business, man. I mean, it is like, if something's going on with the machine, okay, it could be handled, 90% of the time remotely where it gets reset or it gets troubleshooted remotely because I'm doing majority of my portfolio is AI smart coolers. I got 5 traditional machines because a certain location I'm in that needs that type of protection there. Those have been the biggest pain in the butt because there's so many different issues that can go wrong with it. You got the coil, you got the cast box, you got the killing dispenser, you got this. These AI smart coolers, you got a terminal, you got a compressor, and you got a computer on the back of it. It's just a
Yep.
refrigerator. That's
Yeah,
it.
that's awesome. So is the goal with the new ops manager that 8 to 10 hours a week is a goal to get that down even less?
Well, yeah, for me right now, like I'm probably working on that route now, maybe like 2 hours a week, maybe an hour and a half.
Just
And
that
eventually
just that daily check-in is
just a
really
daily check-in, just a
wow.
daily
So you're
check-in.
not even in the warehouse, you're not doing
No.
pop-ins?
No, not doing that.
Interesting.
Yeah,
Wow.
we're gonna do that tomorrow. Like, I'm gonna train him exactly kinda how it goes and what to say and how to do it. And it's like training camp, like, he's gonna have to get used to it, but I'm actually gonna throw him out to the fire, and actually have him handle, and see exactly how he does. But yeah, I mean, you could make this a passive business, for sure. And
Yeah.
I'm just excited because I'm glad that I was able to do it. I was able to run the numbers of how I would starting to pay myself a salary, and I was able to basically build the business financial model of how it will work, of how I could eventually bring that person on.
Yeah.
So that worked out really, really well of
Yeah.
like figuring that out first because I was able to kind of basically troubleshoot that first to make sure that this was a model that would work.
Yeah, yeah. And there's kinda like 2 takeaways there with that model is like, first one is it's definitely not passive to start, and then the
It's not.
second one is like, you didn't get to 102 grand in the first 90 days. Like, it's
No.
not get rich quick. And like
No,
vending,
no, no.
it's a boring business, it's a penny margin business, but that
Yep.
recurring revenue, once you get those machines going, and then you're literally watching those Bears games on Sunday as you look at your phone doing
Yeah.
sales.
So what I say to people is just like 1% every day. Like just do it. Like
Yeah,
I saw this thing the other day and it was like if you double a penny for 30 days, you'd have over $1 million, right? Like that type of mindset that you have, if you are just consistent and you add here, add there, add there. Don't always try to hit home runs or grand slams. When
mhm,
I first got into the business, I was always trying to look for the flip that was going to make me the most amount of money. But I was like, no, build an infrastructure, build a place, hit some singles, you'll get a double. You know what? And eventually there's going to be a grand slam that comes along. Out of all my 45 locations right now, I have about 7 of them that average anywhere from 55 to $6,500 a month.
yeah.
How many people listening to this right now would just need one of those to help their life?
Oh,
Seriously,
exactly.
just
Yeah.
one.
Yeah. And back to your Fairlife thing, if you're selling your Fairlife, you said 7.99, but let's say, my market's not as good as yours. So let's say we sell it for $6. 6 Fairlifes a day is $60. $60 if you get 10 machines. So you're doing $600 a day across all 10 machines. That's a $200,000 a year income.
Oh
Like
my
just
gosh, yeah.
putting that into perspective of like daily pennies that just add up and add up. Like literally 6 Fairlights a day per location, 60 I mean, it's just such a
Yeah.
it's boring, but it's fascinating because,
Oh, it's
again,
boring. Yeah. There's
eh
nothing sexy about it, but, like,
no.
I'll tell you right now, what's sexy about it is those and the best thing about this business is that the cash flow happens, like, weekly. You get paid out from these vendors,
Yeah,
right? So it's weekly cash flow, so it gives you, like, that creativeness to kinda pay this credit card off here because you had to
yeah.
like, and all these different things, so it gives you that flexibility to kinda go ahead and do it, so it's extremely powerful business, and I wish I'd found this business 20 years ago. I really
Oh, man. You
you
built an
know?
empire. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Well, Anthony, this is great. I loved having you on here. I think you just bring such a unique perspective, and, if we get some feedback from this episode that folks enjoyed it, maybe we'll bring you on to future episodes that we do with other vendingpreneurs.
Yeah, no, I would love to do that. I mean, I'll leave this with the last thing here before we end this, but consistency and poise is gonna be your biggest thing as a entrepreneur when you join, or even any business whatsoever. But the definition of financial freedom this is my definition of it as of today. 2 years ago, Anthony Cologe thought a financial future like this because this is how I was just always taught, right?
Mhm.
Work till you're 63, 64, 65, get 2, $3 million in the bank, take 4% off of that, let it appreciate, live off the 4%. But like, okay, you're 63, 64, 65. What I've seen in my career is that I would see guys that made a lot of money, have a high net worth, 70, 80, 90 hours a week, but they missed their kids' lives. They missed their family, right? They weren't able to see them grow up. They missed recitals, they missed breakfasts, they missed dinners, all that stuff. But they got the net worth now, but their kids are 12, 13, 14. There's been guys that I've known that have either passed away in their mid-50s. So they got the money, but they can't even enjoy it.
Mhm.
They retire, something happens, and then they got a health issue because they're older. Something's happened. They're not able to be as agile as they once were. Now, I just turned 41 in September. My definition now of financial future is this, is to build a business, vending, build a vending business and have the infrastructure that is built where you're paying your bills and whatever nice toys or anything like you want. You might want to travel, you might want to buy a car, you might want to whatever your passion is, right? Or go to more concerts or season tickets to the Oregon Ducks or whatever the case may be, right? You build your business to where you make that amount of money per month and you have your team that you've built run it, because then now you have that money and that profit and that stuff coming in. Your bills are covered and your toys are covered. But now, like, I'm 41. Now I can go enjoy myself. Let me go hang out with my kids. Let me go do this. If we're going to go here, if we're going to take a vacation, let me go ahead and do it. You have the freedom to do it now. You don't have to wait. That has been my biggest eye-opening and transformation that has happened to me being going along this 2-year journey. You always said, like you said earlier in the call, like there's 100 different ways to skin a cat. I was so stubborn with being around those other people growing like in that real estate business about, and oh, Anthony, you got to work this, you got to do this, you got to do 70, because that was the only way that they knew how to do it. I knew there was another way to do it. With me being a present father
Yep.
and husband,
Yep.
I knew there had to be a way,
Yep.
and I'm glad I found you.
Yeah. The other side of that too, back to the freedom, is let's say in a year life happens and you need to move and you want to go down to Florida to get out of the brutal winters and whatever, you're sitting on an asset that is
Asset.
worth over $1 million. Like just sell the route and now
Yep.
liquidate and move on. It's not like you
Yeah. No,
just lost
absolutely.
all that last 2 years of work of what you've built to a cash flow standpoint. You have an exit if you need to.
That's the best part too, is that net worth statement of what you're building here. Each location is an asset.
Yeah.
You're building an asset. So
Yeah.
you got your asset on the side and you got your liabilities on this side. Like,
Yeah.
I'm not selling this thing any quick. I'm like anytime soon because I feel like there's so much potential here. And why would I, go ahead and do that? But like, I'm just extremely grateful. And, I'm just looking forward to, and hopefully everybody else will find some inspiration off my story and, kind of take the bull by the horns and go ahead and make a decision and, go out on your own and, leverage yourself and start a business, start a vending business for sure. So I will say this, my last thing here is that one guy told me, he goes, Anthony, because everybody would talk about competition. I go, well, what do I care about? I don't care about competition. I go, I was so focused that I wanted to build a business for my kids, teach them entrepreneurship and work ethic, named it after my kids, Harper and Hunter. And like, I didn't have any noise about these other operators or Googling of how many other operators were in my area and all that stuff. My goal was, I'm going to get better every day. I'm going to work on my craft. I'm going to perfect this and I'm going to stay focused and consistent and I'm going to make it happen. I
Yeah.
kept my mindset there, even though sometimes like it was going like this and I wasn't having as much success as I wanted to, like early in the beginning. Your Wednesday calls were like therapy to me. Like I was able to go there, listen to all the wins of the community. Hey, Anthony, stay poised, stay patient. I just did this and did that. And then eventually it opens. Not to unsign cliche, but if you're consistent, the floodgates will eventually just open. But
Mhm.
you got to put the work in.
It's a great point. I love that.
Yeah.
This is great, man. I appreciate you coming on and sharing all these golden nuggets.
Yeah, no, sounds good. I appreciate you and thanks a lot and look forward to next time.
Sounds good, bud.
Take care.